Hey guys, so I just finished reading Alice by Christina Henry. It's a retelling of Alice in Wonderland actually, where Alice is in a psych ward because everyone thinks she's utterly insane when something very bad happened to her and she came out just talking about a rabbit. And everyone thought she was insane, so she's in a psych ward, but she escapes with her friend called Hatcher, who is also an axe murderer. And they sort of go around trying to find the Jabberwocky and the rabbit, and sort of it's their adventure trying to defeat the Jabberwocky and the rabbit and find out what happened to them because they can't remember. And I'm not sure if I liked it. Now, quickly, before I go on and talk more about this, I must say right now, as a disclaimer, massive trigger warning for this book. Huge trigger warning for this book. One of the main themes of this book is sexual assault. And if that is something that is very triggering for you, this book is not for you at all. Or if you are triggered by death or anything like that, don't read this book. Seriously, just don't go there. Right, with that out of the way, now that you're all fully warned, I'm not sure if I liked this book. Not because of the themes in it, but because I didn't quite like how it was written. Because the story had so much potential. Like, I read all of, like, the blurbs on Goodreads and Amazon and read all the reviews and saw that everybody really, really loved this book. And I actually deliberately did not read any of the books I got out of my shed and bought this one instead because I was really, really looking forward to it. But, I don't know, I couldn't get to grips with this book that well. I couldn't get into it because I feel like everything happened too quickly, or that it didn't get explained quickly enough. It was like the first 4 pages is Alice in the psych ward, and then suddenly there's a fire and she escapes, and then immediately they're sent on the mission for the Jabberwocky, despite the fact that Alice doesn't think that the Jabberwocky is real for quite a while. And it's because Hatcher says that the Jabberwocky is real that she's suddenly like, okay, we'll go on the mission to find the Jabberwocky and kill it. But it's like, this all happens within 10 pages. And nothing was explained or anything. It was just sort of bang, 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 bang. And it's sort of, there was no time to sort of get into the characters or get to know the characters or really find out what has happened in the past. And part of the reason why there isn't much about what happened in the past at the beginning of the book is because Alice and Hatcher can't remember it, which is fair enough. But it was like, everything happened just so quickly. There was no time to really get a sense of what the story was going to be about. It just sort of chucked you in at the deep end and you just had to try and go with it, which was really sort of disconcerting, I guess you could say. It was really odd. And then whenever Alice did remember something or Hatcher remembered something, it was just described. It wasn't written as a flashback or anything. It was just Alice remembered da 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 da. Or if it is an actual flashback, there's 2 in the entire book and that's about it. And that was sort of the detail that I wanted from the book. I wanted the detail of the flashbacks and what happened before when Alice was 16. And I wanted to feel her remember it. I didn't just want to be told that she remembered it. I wanted more of that and sort of more description of the murders and why Hatcher keeps on seeing red and why he keeps on killing people. What it's like in his head, because he is apparently mad, but you didn't quite get that sense, and he's supposed to be dangerous and everything, but I didn't quite get that. It was just sort of, I feel like everything was slightly underwritten, I guess you could say. It was sort of like it was reading like it was the first draft of the book and not the finished product, and that is so disappointing because this book had so much potential, and I can see that so many people really, really loved it, and I can totally respect that, but for me it just felt like that there needed to be more detail throughout the book, and it felt more like a first draft to me, and it was more the author getting the main ideas out so they could flesh them out later. And that's basically what the whole book felt like to me, which was really disappointing. And I feel like there could have just been so much more description and character building and possibly more flashbacky things, so you sort of saw what the characters were seeing in their own heads or anything like that. And I feel like that could have really greatly helped the book, because, or possibly just some more horror elements, because there's a lot of blood and guts and gore description, but I feel like there wasn't that much horror in it, despite the fact it's supposed to be a horror book. So, I don't know, it just sort of, it didn't quite gel with me, I guess you could say. That may also be because I hate Alice in Wonderland. I really don't like Alice in Wonderland, the book. It's far too illogical for me to sort of understand and get my head round. Also, I find Alice really annoying in the original. So, I don't know if that slightly put me off, because I didn't think that did, because I quite enjoy the films of Alice in Wonderland. And this book sounded like a really cool retelling with a whole load more interesting elements in it, with a slightly older Alice who's less annoying than book version. And I saw that loads of reviews on Goodreads saying that they'd read the original Alice in Wonderland, hated it, but really liked this book. So I guess that's why I kind of picked it up and gave it a chance. And I don't know if it is because of my original hatred of Alice that I really didn't like this, or if I just really couldn't get on with how it was written. And it's so disappointing, because I really wanted to like this book. I've been looking forward to it all week since I downloaded it on Sunday, and I was so excited to read it. And I'm just really disappointed that it didn't turn out as well as I hoped. And I don't know, it just didn't click for me, and I'm afraid it just couldn't click, and I'm not going to end up reading the second one, because I just really couldn't get into this story. And it had so much potential, which was so disappointing, because I really wanted to really enjoy this. I feel like if there had been more description at key points, I probably would have enjoyed myself a hell of a lot more, and just sort of forgotten that it's supposed to be a horror book or whatever. I would have just loved it as it was. I just feel like it just needed that little bit more description. If there had just been that little bit more, and that little bit more of like development or insights into the characters' minds, I feel like that would have been like so much better. And I'm sorry to everybody who really likes this book, because I know there are hundreds and thousands of you, because I've seen all the reviews, but I really couldn't get on with this, and I'm really sorry that I couldn't. It just didn't quite click with me that well. So, like, I loved sort of like the storyline and how it was going. I just wanted more description. That's it. I just wanted more description of characters and what was going on. And if I'd had that, I would have been a hell of a lot more happy with it. But yeah, I'm sorry I didn't like it. But if you liked it, please tell me down in the comments why you liked it, because I want to see from other people's perspective as to why they really enjoyed this book and why I couldn't get along with it. So if you've read it, which undoubtedly most of you have, judging by the amount of reviews there are on Goodreads, please tell me down in the comments why you enjoyed it so much, and we can sort of have a discussion, and maybe I can see things from your point of view, and maybe that'll give me a bit more enjoyment of it. Or if you are like me and didn't enjoy it, please tell me also down in the comments, so I'm not the only one who didn't enjoy it. But also, if you like this review or agree with me or anything, please give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my reviews, please click subscribe here. But I think that's going to be about it for this week, so until next time, bye!